Imagine a world where power was not voted for, but taken through strength, strategy, and survival. A world ruled by warriors, where alliances shifted like desert sand and betrayal was always one step away. In that brutal world rose a woman who refused to be ignored. Her name was Khutulun. She was not just a princess of the Mongol steppe. She was a warrior, a strategist, and a force that even seasoned generals respected. Her story begins deep within the vast empire created by Genghis Khan, an empire that stretched across continents and reshaped the medieval world. Khutulun was born into a powerful Mongol lineage. She was the daughter of Kaidu, one of the most formidable leaders of the era. From the moment she was born, power surrounded her. Warriors filled the camps. Generals debated strategy in the tents of the steppe, and nobles constantly competed for influence. But Khutulun was never meant to remain in the shadows. While many noble daughters were raised for diplomacy and marriage, she was raised for war. She trained in horseback riding across endless grasslands. She practiced archery until arrows flew like lightning. She learned to wrestle with the strength of seasoned warriors. On the Mongol steppe, strength meant survival, and Khutulun proved she had plenty of it. Legends claim she never lost a wrestling match. Men who wished to marry her had to defeat her in wrestling. If they failed, they had to give her horses. One challenger after another stepped forward, and one after another was defeated. With every victory, Khutulun's herd of horses grew. Soon, she owned hundreds. But the horses were not the real prize. The real prize was reputation. In the Mongol world, reputation was power. A warrior feared on the battlefield commanded respect in the council. And Khutulun's reputation spread across the steppe. But strength alone was never enough to survive Mongol politics. The Mongol court was a dangerous arena. Powerful leaders constantly competed for influence. Rivals watched every move, and betrayal was never far away. Khutulun quickly learned that survival required more than strength. It required intelligence, it required patience, and it required knowing when to strike. Her father, Kaidu, trusted her deeply. He often brought her into military councils. There, Khutulun observed the minds of generals and strategists. She listened carefully. She studied every decision. She learned how power truly worked. Soon she was no longer just an observer. She became an advisor, a voice that Kaidu respected. In a world dominated by men, this was extraordinary. But Khutulun did not earn respect through titles. She earned it through action. When war came, she rode beside her father, not behind him, beside him. Historical accounts describe her charging into battle, riding fast across the steppe, leading attacks with fearless precision. Her presence on the battlefield stunned many enemies. They expected a princess. They found a warrior. Some chroniclers even claim she saved her father during battle, riding through enemy lines to pull him to safety. Stories like this spread quickly, and every story made her legend grow. But legends also attract enemies. Many Mongol nobles resented her influence. They believed power should belong only to men. They whispered against her. They plotted quietly. They hoped she would fail. But Khutulun understood something crucial. Power is not only about defeating enemies. It is also about building loyalty. She rewarded those who stood with her. She respected brave warriors. She protected loyal allies, and slowly, she built a network of supporters. In the brutal politics of the Mongol Empire, loyalty was priceless. Without it, even the strongest leader could fall. But Khutulun balanced strength with strategy. She knew when to confront rivals, and when to let them destroy themselves. This patience made her even more dangerous. She was not just powerful, she was unpredictable. And unpredictability is one of the most powerful weapons in politics. Still, one challenge remained: tradition. Many Mongol leaders believed a woman could never rule. They refused to imagine a female leader. But Khutulun challenged that belief simply by existing. She commanded warriors. She influenced strategy. She shaped decisions that affected entire armies. Her competence became impossible to ignore, and slowly, even critics had to acknowledge her strength. Her story reveals something powerful about leadership. True power does not always come from position. Sometimes it comes from ability, from courage, and from proving yourself again and again. Khutulun's life was not just about battles. It was about navigating a dangerous political world. Every alliance carried risk. Every victory created new rivals. Every success demanded greater caution. Yet she survived, she thrived, and she carved her name into history. Today, her legend still echoes across the Mongolian steppe, a reminder that courage can break even the strongest traditions, and that determination can reshape expectations. So the question remains: if you lived in a world as ruthless as the Mongol court, could you survive its politics? Could you earn respect among warriors and rivals? Could you turn strength into influence? Could you rise like Khutulun? Her story suggests it is possible, but only for those bold enough to challenge the rules, those strong enough to master their craft, and those wise enough to understand the game of power. Because history remembers those who dare to rise. And Khutulun rose higher than anyone expected. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of Mongol warriors, subscribe for more stories where history reveals its most powerful lessons.